This is for all you multi-talented, multitasking, multi-everything people out there. Take it away.
Find your glory, write your story, fearless feet will carry you. Time you own it, take your moment, be a fire burning through. Hustling from night until morning, grinding it out, it won't be long. Feel your power, it's your hour, you inspire, you are strong.
Enjoy your Zoa. No applause? You're all fired.
Hey, good morning, America. Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Good morning, America.
Money. Are you ready? They are ready. Covering the biggest events in the country right now.
There's a lot going on here this morning.
It's always a good time.
That's what the show's about.
That's good.
Really good.
Very good. Coming in hot. Jimmy coming in hot.
It's far from elementary.
Oh.
Good morning, America. I'm not going to try to strut like Michael or anything.
I have known George a long, long time.
Have you ever gotten him to dance?
Look at that face.
You don't just see it, you feel it.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'll be there.
I am here and so happy.
I'm in.
I'm in too.
I'm in.
That tells you something when Snoop Dogg's in. Michael, George, where? Ginger.
Prepare for a journey beyond imagination, beyond belief, beyond anything you've experienced before. Universal Epic Universe, a new theme park where you'll step through extraordinary portals to 5 immersive worlds. Prepare for a cosmic voyage of discovery, an isle of fire-breathing excitement, a shadowy world of monsters and mystery, new wonders in the wizarding world, and a new way to play. Plus the splendor of a magnificent resort hotel overlooking the park. It's all new excitement at Universal Orlando Resort. A week's worth of vacation thrills with 4 amazing theme parks, a variety of spectacular themed hotels, and incredible dining and entertainment. It's all at Universal Orlando Resort, where you'll find new adventures every day. Explore the astonishing worlds of Universal Epic Universe at Universal Orlando Resort.
Well, hello to you, and you. Good morning to you all. Happy Wednesday. 2 people were here, 1 person was here, and 0 people are here now. It is all good. Y'all still going to get a great show. Good morning to each and every single one of you. It's 4 minutes after 11 a.m. on the dot here. Glad to have you here on the East Coast. It is 10 a.m. down south. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 destinations for y'all. Last night, Jimmy Kimmel was right where he was supposed to be, back on television. I stayed up to watch the monologue, and I have my thoughts, and boy, do I have a lot to say. And then, of course, the president is pissed. We're going to talk about that too. And also how he played himself like he normally does. We'll talk about that. Social Security, if you have any elderly people or anybody that you know that is, getting Social Security in shape, form, or fashion, this report, you definitely need to tell them about it. We'll talk about that. There is a huge event happening for Black dolls that we'll get into as well. Now, of course, everybody knows 3G, right? 3G was the regular schmegula thing. Then 4G was the new thing. Now it's 5G. But what if I told you that Verizon is on the road to creating 6G? Yeah, 6G. I know. Why do we need it? We're going to talk about it. Michelle Atlien, yours truly, was on her show last night. We'll watch that, and I'll respond to that live. MacKenzie Scott, the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, gave a huge donation. Everybody, we'll talk about that. She's been doing such great work for HBCUs and many, many great causes. And then BARBIE is doing big things in the world of making sure that kids and adults with cancer are being seen through the power of dolls. So we have a lot to get to. Higher is waiting, low is available. But either way, we are live on tour. Let me take down this iconic intro here. You see that virtual tour background? Yes, you do. You hear that virtual tour music? Yes, you do. Because on this channel right here, one thing to know and two things for sure, that over here on this channel, a lot happens early. Roll it.
It's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early.
I'm Harry Smith.
I'm Julie Chen. I'm Maggie Rodriguez.
Morning everywhere. Come on, get up.
I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Dave Price.
And it's a little early for this.
Right now, this it's a new morning for America's family. Sun's coming up, so make it all that it can be. You know a lot happens early. Every day's good when you're starting it out right. But whenever you're starting the daylight, and a lot happens early. Can you feel it? And I said,
Good morning, everybody.
Are you girls ready for the Jonas Brothers?
We have an early show exclusive. Yes.
A lot happens early.
Dirty.
Early.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot happens
Early.
The Early Show, weekday mornings on CBS.
It's a new morning.
Yes, it is. Julie Chen Moonves is a new morning, beautiful. It's Russ Mitchell, Dave Price, Harry Smith, and Maggie Rodriguez. You're absolutely right on this channel right here. A lot happens early. Good morning to each and every single one of you. Let's get to the getting and doing what we do. First of all, Jimmy Kimmel. I just have to say, well done. Now I'm seeing Benny Johnson, WDW Pro, Tim Cast, and a lot of people upset that Jimmy Kimmel did what he did. You know, at this point, I think if he even apologized, you wouldn't take it because you don't like his existence. Sincerely, what has happened with Jimmy Kimmel has just go to show that you want your cake and eat it too. But here's the gag. When you want all your cake, you have to swallow all your cake. When you want all your cake, you got to swallow all your cake. When you want all your cake, you have to swallow all your cake. Jimmy Kimmel is a comedian. Comedians, they have the carte blanche. They have the privilege. They have the right to take an inch and make it a mile. They got the room to talk a little bit more than the rest of us. And they're supposed to find the inch of what's not being talked about, make it a mile with humor. That's what they are supposed to do. Now, I'll just say this to WDW Pro, Tim Cass, Benny Johnson, and everybody else. If y'all don't like them, why talk about them? I mean, y'all are just as bad as the Melody Cherie crowd. For everybody to say they don't like Melody Cherie, they sure do talk about her on their channels. Maybe because they have no content. Maybe because they thought they had a bag of Love and Marriage Huntsville coming on every damn Saturday because it was OWN's #1 show. But this happened instead.
Love and Marriage Huntsville will return with more new episodes. The drama is just getting started. Love and Marriage Huntsville returns with new episodes November 15th, only on OWN.
For those content creators that all they cover is just that show, you got to wait until November 15th to be a content creator. Now, how much sense does that make? It's the same thing with the people that don't like Jimmy Kimmel. So you waited for a result to happen from a person you can't stand in order to have content? How much sense does that make? You waited for a person you don't like to have a resolution for you to have content. one more time for the one more time. You waited for a resolution of a person you don't like to have content on your channel. Jimmy Kimmel is giving Tim Cass, WDW Pro, Benny Johnson, and everybody that don't like Jimmy Kimmel a YouTube check. But yet you don't like him, though. I'm just a little confused by that. So I watched it last night, and the standing ovation was very well warranted. And, you know, Jimmy Kimmel talked about, you know, that people called him from his past, this, that, and the third. He also apologized to his wife's family because there are some markets that he is not in, right? Because of next star Sinclair. And this is coming from the same Sinclair that was going to air a Charlie Kirk special in place of Jimmy Kimmel Live, but they moved it to YouTube. So I guess the work that y'all did on that special wasn't as good as y'all thought it was, because if it was good, you would have aired it. And the next star, who owns the CW, which the CW really has no content, they're a wasteland of content, but yet they're a broadcast network. They got the me audacity, the me hypocrisy, the me imagination not to air Kimmel's show. And it's just like, you do realize that without you airing those shows, then your affiliates have no content. And if your affiliates have no content, then there's no ad revenue. And you're paying a redistribution fee to distribute ABC content. How smart are you, Next Star? How smart are you, Sinclair? Said no one ever. Okay. In addition to that, Jimmy Kimmel also talked about the fact that he was not trying to make fun of the experience that happened to Charlie Kirk. He did not do that. Really, the energy was at the president, who, after being asked about how his best friend, you know, passed away, unnecessarily, I might add, that he went to talk about the construction of a ballroom in the White House. Just a pro tip to Benny Johnson, Tim Cass, WDW Pro, and Megyn Kelly, and all the female conservative commentators and everybody that's conservative. There's nothing wrong with being conservative, right? Nothing wrong with it. But to silence free speech, to hate black and minorities, to take away resources for people to try to rise up, when some conservatives probably have been on Section 8 housing before. But some conservatives have probably been on food stamps before. But some conservatives have probably used Head Start. Because whether you a Democrat or conservative, everybody has to make $1.15 somehow. Let's keep that straight. Okay? So, in talking about all that, Jimmy also said, it's funny that the president wanted people to cancel me, but yet everybody tuned into me. And that was not very bigly. And I have ratings tonight. As of right now, the clip is at 9.7 million views. I think it's about crossed 10 million views this morning. In addition to that, he thanked Republicans and people on the other side of the aisle that may not stand him and his show, but are about free speech. Benny Johnson said that he did not defend any Republican. Well, Benny Johnson, I would dare you to define any time you have given a fuck about anybody that doesn't look like you. Give me 10 times. Probably won't get to even one. No one has to defend it. Dr. Phil is deranged and decrepit and destroyed as he is. He has said some good things. One of the things he said was, we may not love everything that person does, but we can still love them. That's what Jimmy Kimmel did. He gave credit where credit is due. And honestly, to tell you the truth, at this point, that monologue is more welcomed than the President of the United States being in the White House. His approval ratings are shit. The Congressional Budget Office Director, the former one at that, said that 47's economy is dead on arrival. When you have Fox News flailing to try to defend the president, we really fucked up. Y'all saw it with Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, with the past he has, said what he said about free speech. So it is quite interesting that everybody on the other side went after the left. But when conservatives spoke out against them in their own party, they didn't say shit. Interesting. And, Jimmy Kimmel also talked about, autism and the president and the announcement that he made, right? And also, too, there was a very funny joke that when he was speaking to the United Nations, which he said to all these nations, your countries are going to hell. Charming. In addition to that, he was at the escalator and stopped, right? And Jimmy Kimmel said something very powerful. He said, "Why didn't the escalator stop 10 years ago?" And Guillermo, shout out to Guillermo. Guillermo said, "We need more people like Jimmy Kimmel, and he is a great man." And Guillermo, just know you're welcome to the cookout anytime, brother. I am proud of the fact that these jobs were saved. And Jimmy Kimmel also said something very important too. He said, "We have an American president that wants to go after Americans and their jobs." Think about that for a second. An American president that's about America first and MAGA going after American jobs. Does that seem right to you? It certainly doesn't seem right to me. And Vanessa 47 is now engaged to Tiger Woods. I wonder how family discussions are going to be. I just wonder, right? And House Hinkar also is trying to still defend his position. The FCC has no oversight on content, which is why it will never happen to YouTube. But it could happen to YouTube. Speaking of that, Jimmy Kimmel also talked about the fact of, could the government dictate what podcasts you listen to and download? He also talked about family and how he said that there are family members on the other side that he disagrees with, but he still loves them. And he also praised Erica Kirk, the widow, and that she forgave her husband's alleged killer. And sincerely, I think Jimmy did everything he could and then some. I think he was damned if he do, damned if he doesn't. And he was not happy when he got pulled off the air. He did not agree with that decision, and they had discussions. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, when he came out and said, as I was saying before I was interrupted, shout out to Jack Parr. That was a joke that Jack Parr did when he returned to the Tonight Show in 1960. And ABC, Disney did ask him to do something. He read a note of how to resubscribe to Hulu and Disney, which is quite funny because I thought that in the rap article that I read that it wasn't Disney Plus unsubscriptions that influenced Kimmel coming back. So why would y'all have him read a note if that wasn't a factor in bringing him back? The words of that teacher from The Incredibles. Coincidence? I think not. And then, of course, Rob De Niro, being the FCC chairman, was quite great as well. So like I said, I think Jimmy Kimmel did what he could. And guess what? Eventually, Nexstar and Sinclair are going to have to put him back on the air because there's a thing as, like I said, redistribution fees, right? And I don't think Sinclair and Nexstar want to go broke. The CW's not making any money. Last time we were here together, I decided to do some numbers on Jimmy Kimmel Live and the National Desk, which is Sinclair's YouTube channel. And the last time that we did this, hang on one second, let me do that. And the last time that we did this here, I'm just going to show it since, you know, the right thinks that Jimmy Kimmel is a no-calories hack and this, that, and third, da. Let me just show you this real quick. And then we're going to get to our destinations here. Jimmy Kimmel Live's YouTube channel, 20,800,000 subscribers. The National Desk, 593,000 subscribers. Total views, 13,052,168,071 total views. The National Desk total views is 517,762,174 total views. Grand total, a difference of 20,207,000 subscribers, and a difference of 12,534,405,897 total views. Let me say that difference again. 12,534,405,897 total views. Basically, Jimmy Kimmel Live is me and the rest of America. And the National Desk is 47 and Thirsty Toxicity. Now, with that being said, moving forward to all the conservatives, if you don't like somebody, right, don't talk about them for content. Because, in the words of Anonymous T,
because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
One more time, Anonymous.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
There it is. Let's get to doing what we do, everybody. We do have a lot to discuss here. I want to just give the first 20-something minutes to just my opinion. Because you saw the thumbnail, you know my voice is dim, and you know why you're here. But also, too, I can read the articles like I'm about to do now, but it's important for you to hear exactly from me. Wow. So, from Deadline.com, Jimmy Kimmel returns. Our government cannot be allowed to control what we do or not say on TV. Jimmy Kimmel got a standing ovation in his return to late night TV on Tuesday night with Chancellor Jimmy from his studio audience in a very emotional monologue. Jimmy Kimmel kicked off his first show after a week suspension by ABC with a reference to Jack Paar when he quit and returned to the Tonight Show in 1960. As I was saying before I was interrupted, he joked. Kimmel, in his first show since September 16th, thanked his fans as well as those who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs. He added, our government cannot be allowed to control what we do and don't say on television. He also teared up when referencing Charlie Kirk. It was never my intention to make the light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there was anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram of the day he was ill, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it. I still do. Nor it was my intention to blame any specific group. The actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That really was the opposite point that I was trying to make. But I understand that to some it felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe to both. And for those who think I did point the finger, I get why you're upset. The situation was reversed. There's a good chance I felt the same way. So even in him acknowledging it, it's still not going to be enough for the other side, right? And this is my thing to everybody, right? That's for canceling him and stuff. If y'all were as big as y'all say y'all are with y'all platforms, why hasn't Fox News picked y'all up? Why hasn't Newsmax picked you up? Why hasn't One American News picked you up? Why hasn't Right Side News picked you up? Hell, why hasn't Megyn Kelly picked you up? Why hasn't Tucker Carlson? I'm just asking a question. If you're really that big as you are, then why have excuse me? Why have you not been invested in? That's the question I have for y'all. I have many friends and family members on the other side who I love and remain close to, even though we don't agree on politics at all. I don't think the murderer who piled Charlie Kirk represents anyone. This was a person, he said. He also praised, He also praised Kirk's widow, Erica. He referenced the fact that she forgave the alleged killer over the weekend. That's an example we should follow. If you believe in the teachings of Jesus, as I do, there it was. That was it. Selfless act of grace, forgiveness from a grieving widow. It touched me deeply. If there's anything we should take away from this tragedy to carry forward, I hope it can be that, he added. Kimmel added that Jimmy Kimmel Live is not important, but what is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have shows like this. I've had the opportunity to meet and spend time with comedians and talk show hosts from countries like Russia, countries in the Middle East, who told me they would get thrown in prison for making fun of those in power. And worse than being thrown in prison, they know how lucky we are here. Our freedom to speak is what they admire most about this country. That's something I'm embarrassed to say I took for granted until they pulled my friend Stephen Colbert off the air. And that was unnecessarily. As CBS stated, Stephen Colbert was the #1 show in late night for 9 straight seasons and recently won an Emmy, but you're pulling him off because of ad revenue. So what are you going to do now for ad revenue in that slot? Because believe me, if you honestly think that Gayle King, hang on, let me go on the big screen because I want CBS to hear this. If you honestly think that Gayle King, Tony DeCoppel, and Nate Burleson are going to do CBS Nights, a 1-hour laid-back edition of CBS Mornings at night, I promise you, Stephen Colbert will mollywop their ass in the ratings. Quite easily. Quite easily. Okay? So, when you, and like I said, Paramount Global's in $14.9 billion worth of debt. But y'all the smart ones, though, to cancel Atlien that's been #1 for 9 seasons on y'all network. I won an Emmy, but y'all the smart ones. Okay, moving on. And try to coerce the affiliates who run our show and cities that you live in to take my show off there. That is not legal. That is not American. That is un-American, he added. Kimmel didn't stop making 47 jokes either. He referenced the fact that 47 said that Jimmy Kimmel Live didn't get good ratings. I do tonight, he added. He joked rather. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced billions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly. He might have to release the Epstein's files to distract us from this. And the head of the FBI basically admitted to that because there was more ties to the president. The Who Wants to Be a Millionaire host joked that Disney asked him to read a message on the show asking people to resubscribe to Hulu and Disney Plus. For almost 23 years, I've done almost 4,000 shows on ABC. Over that time, the people who run this network have allowed me to evolve and stretch the boundaries of what was once traditional for a late-night talk show, even when it made them uncomfortable, which I do a lot every night. They defended my right to poke fun at our leaders and advocate for subjects that I think are important by allowing me to use their platform. I'm grateful for that. But he admitted that he was not happy when they pulled me off the air. I did not agree with that decision. I told them that we have had many conversations. I shared my point of view. They shared theirs. We talked it through. And at the end, even though they didn't have to, they really didn't have to. This is a giant company. We have short attention spans. And I'm a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air. I thank them for that. Kimmel said this puts them at risk from 47. Our leader celebrates Americans losing their livelihoods because he can't take a joke. that part. Elsewhere, he thanked both his fellow late-night hosts, including Stephen Colbert, Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Seth Meyers, and Jimmy Fallon, as well as former late-night hosts Conan O'Brien, Chelsea Handler, Wanda Sykes, Arsenio Hall, and Jay Leno, his boyhood idols, Howard Stern, David Letterman. He also thanked Ben Shapiro, Rand Paul, and Ted Cruz. Bring back cartoon president, Stephen. We need it now. Stephen Colbert, that is. People who doesn't agree with but support his right to say, even though I don't agree with many of those people on most subjects, some of the things they say even make me want to throw up. It takes courage from them to speak out against this administration. They deserve credit for that. Kimmel's opening monologue tonight was followed by a bit by Robert De Niro pretending to be the new head of the FCC before he went back to tell more jokes about 47 interview with Glenn Powell. Right here, Kimmel stepped onto the stage of the El Capitan Theater just after 6 p.m. Eastern, and tonight's taping just lasted over an hour. Crowd members told Deadline that the atmosphere in the theater was electric, and Kimmel received more standing ovations during his monologue than the crew would have liked. Oh, wow. Here we go. This is Deadline's Anthony Alessandro Awards. So he speaks with Jimmy Kimmel live audience member Katie outside the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood last night.
So how long ago, tell us your name and where you're from?
I'm Katie Persico. I'm from LA.
And how long ago did you get your tickets?
I had this intuition on Sunday night that I needed to apply because I had a feeling he was going to come back 2 nights ago.
And then was there an apology?
He didn't say sorry, as I'm sure everyone would have been shocked if he had said sorry. But he did acknowledge with many, many tears. I can't emphasize his emotion enough. Like, he was so heartfelt, saying it wasn't his intention to have anybody be hurt at such a time of grief. And he thanked the wife of
Charlie Kirk.
Yes, thank you, Charlie Kirk. And he said that if he's a Christ-like man, and there's nothing more Christ-like than a forgiveness, especially so quickly after you've lost your best friend.
Did Glenn Powell and him talk about it?
They didn't talk about it. They talked about Glenn Powell's movie.
How many standing ovations can you recall?
I mean, for the monologue, there were more than the production wanted. They were like, sit down. So maybe like at least 5 or 6.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
So much. Deadline.
Thank you.
By the way, Chad Powers is a new show coming to Hulu. It's not a movie. But he does have a new movie, though, to her credit, called The Hitman, which was a book about a live game show where survive 30 days while America's hunting you down, trying to take you out. Looks like we're having that happen virtually in social media. And a little bit of it in real life. An hour before the show went out on the East Coast, 47 doubled down on his attacks and calling them a bunch of losers, and that he would be going to test ABC out on this. Kimmel's monologue comes about 24 hours after ABC revealed it was bringing the show back after thoughtful conversations between the comedian and Disney. Disney admitted that made the decision to indefinitely preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live to avoid further inflaming a tense situation and emotional moment for our country. The company, in its statement, said that it felt the host's comments during the September 16th monologue were at the time thus insensitive. Kimmel on that show a week ago Monday said, "We hit some new lows over the weekend on the Baka gang, desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and with everything they can to score political points from it." FCC Chairman House Hen Carr subconsciously threatened ABC to find ways to change conduct, take action, frankly, on Kimmel. There's going to be some additional work for the FCC ahead, and said that the comedian's comments were some of the sickest conduct possible. Carr walked back his comments, claiming that he denied that he was making a threat to pull licenses of ABC stations. Doing this the easy way or the hard way is a threat. Even Ted Cruz said that it was a move out of Goodfellas. Ted Cruz. After Carr's initial comments, local station group Nexstar revealed that it would preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live for this foreseeable future, as it strongly rejects the recent comments made by Mr. Kimmel concerning the killing of Charlie Kirk. It was soon followed by some comments by rival station group Sinclair. Moments later, Disney made its own decision to pause the show. This was followed by intensive Discussions with the late night host as the controversy continued to roll up over the weekend. Tom Hanks, who played Walt Disney, saved Mr. Banks, which I'm still waiting for that Walt Disney movie with Tom Hanks because he did a great job in that, superb, stellar job. Was one of more than 400 stars alongside the likes of Meryl Streep, Ben Affleck, and still in living on Miranda, who signed a ACLU letter calling out government threats to our freedom of speech. Former Disney CEO Michael Eisner. Hello, I'm Michael Eisner. Hello, I'm Michael Eisner. Hello, Michael Eisner. Hello over there, Michael Eisner. Hello over here, I'm Michael Eisner. To everyone, hello, I'm Michael Eisner. Also got involved asking, where has all the leadership gone? Comments that are thought to have rankled current Disney CEO Bob Iger. He's not the only one asking where the leadership has gone. That continues to be the beating drum of the Disney fans who are asking where the hell is the magic at. Kimmel also received support from his late night peers and fellow Strike 5 Force podcast hosts, including Colbert, Fallon, Myers, Lewis Oliver, who struck an even bigger blow, calling out Iger himself. History is going to remember the cowards who definitely knew better, but still let things happen, whether it was for money, convenience, or just comfort. Oliver said on HBO's Last Week Tonight. Even some right-wing politicians, such as Cruz, who is the chairman of the Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation, the body has oversight over the FCC, warned it was dangerous for the government to silence speech as Democrats when they next enter the White House could use the president to silence conservatives. Next Star and Sinclair have continued to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live, meaning that the show is now available to watch live around a quarter of the country. But he did come back on last night. And I do believe that Hulu should be a separate platform from Disney Plus, and the ABC app should be back. So that way, in case anything like this happens ever again, Disney has a plan. Because as we see from Bob Iger, I'm not going to blame Dana Walden here because she does the entertainment. CEO is the head. The snake only moves from the body down, or can only move. The snake can only move his or her body from the body down. I'm trying to put it in a way that y'all understand it. Without the head, the snake cannot move. The body of the snake cannot move without the head. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, here is this. Kimmel is back, but not everywhere. How long can Next Star and Sinclair keep him sidelined? What are ABC's options? Jimmy Kimmel Live is returned to ABC, not in about households. Next Star Media Group and Sinclair have said they're still not going to air the late night show on their stations. Between the two major station owners, the ban will affect viewers in dozens of markets, including sizable ones like Washington, D.C., Seattle, St. Louis, and Portland, Oregon. Those is a pretty large holes in the clearance map for a show that's pulled $70 million in 2025 to date in advertising revenue, according to ad tracking firm iSpot. Its promotional value for Disney studio and streaming operations is also being diminished for both the show and its commercial breaks, with vertical promotions of Disney Tiles accounting for 12% of ad time. The media giant have taken some lumps from viewers in Hollywood during the nearly week-long crisis. Now we'll be taking a hard look at its options with Sinclair and Next Star. So Jimmy Kimmel's future on the group's airways which entered the limbo state after he joked about Republicans' reaction to conservative activist Charlie Kirk's powering death depends to some extent on the tenor of his post-suspension comments and the reaction to them. President 47's war on the media and his attack dog FCC chairman Hossein Carr have created a situation without president predicting anything hazardous prospect. Nevertheless, the path from here still will be shaped by a legal and business framework established long before the streaming era. Disney, Next Star, and Sinclair have declined to say anything other than carefully worded and limited statements. In search of answers to a handful of questions about the Kimmel affair, Deadline spoke to a number of stakeholders in local television. Here are some of the main questions and answers. How long could the standoff last? Even if only for a few days, the industry could be in fairly uncharted territory, given the sheer volume of the holdouts. For comparison, one notable past flashpoint is worth recalling that when Ellen DeGeneres' character came out as gay with sitcom Ellen in 1997, only one ABC affiliate, Birmingham, Alabama, refused to air the show despite widespread controversy. It depends on how crazy it gets. One veteran broadcast executive told Deadline, assessing how long it could go. It depends It depends who fights the first legal bout and whether ABC wants to go after them in some way, shape, or form. How aggressive they want to get, ABC will turn the other cheek for a while until they don't want to turn the other cheek anymore. Speaking of turning the other cheek, this is to Nexstar and to Sinclair, which basically, you know, if President 47, and I'm going to say President 45 and 47, the words from or Thirsty Toxicity ran those station groups, this is the message I have for you.
Good morning, TikTok. Can I have your attention, please? Girl, are you ticking? Are you talking? Because knowledge is knocking. Then I want to talk to you real quick about ignoring a bitch. Oh, there's power in turning the other cheek. Now, I'm going to tell you something. One thing about people that like to throw shade, you don't fight shade with shade. The only thing that overrides and destroys the shade is the sunlight. See, your light gotta be so bright that you keep that bitch where they belong, in the shadows, the dark. The bitch is invisible, and we don't see you, girl. See, you don't go back and forth with a person that's hating on you, because when you do that, you become just like them, a weak bitch. So the next time they mention your name in a status, or your name come up in a conversation, don't respond because you're too high to look that low. We can't go back and forth with people that we can't reach and that's not on our level. We not sitting at the same table eating the same meals.
That part, clock that T. Also, just want to say this to all the, station owners. Remember that your newscast, right? They have lead-ins, right? So if the lead-ins are not good, then the ratings are the ratings. And then you might have to make cuts at your local stations. Mm-hmm. But you're the smart ones, though. You're the smart ones, though. You are the smart ones, though. And Stephen A. Smith, I saw that you went on Chris Cuomo's show last night. Sir, you are a house Negro still, because at least Jimmy Kimmel has had a consistency of giving a fuck about others besides himself. In the words of Terrell Owens, Max Kellerman is blacker than you, Stephen A. And when you fuck up, not if, but when you fuck up on Straight Shooter, on SiriusXM POTUS channel, or on your Stephen A. Smith show, keep the same fucking energy of you gonna have to adjust if you lose your $100 million motherfucking ass dollar contract and you're not making $40 million a year. Moving on. Kirk's memorial last Sunday, which was widely televised, included notable comments from the slain activist widow, Erica Kirk. Once she said she forgave the iller, she sent a unified message to the executive, continuing she was the most forgiving person in there. Carr's exuberance, including his opening threats against Disney and his gleeful office meme sharing sense of social media, and awkwardly with some prominent Republicans, including Senators Rand Paul and Ted Cruz. The fact that it's not a strictly partisan issue could also help persuade Nexstar and Sinclair to quietly backtrack. They scored their points. One local station staffer said how they're going to tell general managers who need always to keep standing on principle. And also, too, isn't it interesting that the president didn't go after Ted Cruz or Rand Paul or anybody that said that this was unfair? The president really doesn't. I'm just saying, if I was president and I didn't like somebody, I wouldn't talk about it. But to talk about other people that you can't stand, that only elevates them, right? But you're the smart one, though. Okay. Said no one ever. Moving on, could the affiliate agreements between the stations and ABC help force a resolution? The agreements, which typically last 3 years, include a set of provisions for both stations and networks. Normally, the local station has rights to preempt up to a certain amount of times, unless it's a national emergency. The broadcast exec said if the stations exceed that number, they lose the rights to air that show, and the network can shift the show as an affiliate station elsewhere in a given market. Let me read that 2 more times for Nexstar and Sinclair, the smart ones, said no one ever. If the stations exceed that number, of preempting, right, a program, because normally the local station has rights to preempt up to a certain amount of times. If the stations exceed that number, they lose the rights to air that show. The network can shift the show and its affiliate station elsewhere in a given market. If the number of stations exceed that number to preempt a show up to a certain amount of times, they lose the rights to air that show, and the network can shift the show and its affiliated station elsewhere in a given market. So basically, y'all are the slaves, and ABC is master. You know, I did say that slavery changed and societal slavery. There are no more cotton fields, except for retail and other jobs that really don't pay as much as they should. And it is the boardroom. Oh, congratulations, you made it into the house, good slave. But know your role in this house. We'll put you back out into the societal field. Y'all didn't expect this Wednesday morning from Brand Lee, did you? You saw the thumbnail, you know my voice, and damn it, you know why you're here. Moving on. Can ABC threaten to pull NFL and other in-demand programming if Sinclair or if Nexstar? In disputes with affiliates is the NFL. While ABC doesn't have as much of the top viewed league as rivals CBS, NBC, and Fox. Simulcast ESPN's Monday Night Football, as well as key NBA and college football telecasts. And in February 2027, Disney has the rights to the Super Bowl, which will strengthen its hand, even if only in the next round of affiliate deal negotiations. Veterans of the local TV trenches note one particular pocket of revenue is certainly not far from the minds of those locked into this dispute. Digital retransmission consent dollars. Traditional pay TV operators like cable and satellite companies are covered by affiliate deals that create close to a 50-50 split when it comes to retransmission consent fees. So thankfully that's that there. But they still have to pay their fees in order for the 50-50 split to still be in place. Digital fees, however, a growing bucket thanks to streaming bundles like YouTube TV, are controlled by the national networks and not shared stations. Also, too, you got to think about Philo TV. You got to think about Friendly TV. Howdy TV, or Howdy from Roku, doesn't have live TV yet, but I'm sure it'll have live TV in due time. Streaming is hitting a wall in terms of content. We talked about yesterday that they have spent over $200 billion, $210 billion at that on content. But as for hitting a wall in streaming on content, streaming came at the right time to be able to help for situations like this. And maybe after the writers and actors strike, maybe after this, Hollywood, maybe you should do what Tubi did, which is this.
Yeah, we hustle all day. Yeah, we're working, let me play. You know me, work real hard, now we're ready, let's play. Ay, hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go, yeah. Hustle up, yeah. Ready, set, let's go. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it up, turn it up a little louder. Now get low, come on, drop it to the floor, drop it to the floor. Turn it up, turn it up, turn it
So if you wonder why I do this,
Now that you've reached this,
not that. Shout out to New Being TV though. Sharnia's World Season 2 is coming to New Being TV this fall. When I do this, it was because Tubi basically is giving content creators a chance to have their movie or show, TV show, become a Tubi original. And also, too, NBC Universal did the NBC Universal Launch Unscripted Accelerator, where 5 content creators were going to get a $20,000 development deal. Now, because NBC Universal spun off their cable networks, no one has heard a word about that accelerator, including me. We're supposed to get word on January 1st because I submit Running this Virtual Tour as a show and a prime time show as well. That, oh my Lord. I still think it's one of the greatest ideas I've ever done. And we also talked about the Blavity Creator Collective, where content creators work with Blavity and their content could, and their voice could reach a monthly active audience of 250 million people. So maybe to Hollywood, you might want to start opening up doors more. Because if Sinclair and Nexstar can cancel Jimmy Kimmel, who, by the way, I just want to mention, Nexstar and Sinclair canceled a white guy, not a black guy, off of television. Just want to say that because there was a thing on Facebook that said if Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Kimmel, 2 white guys, can be canceled, no one is safe. And I fully agree. Moving on. This is such a dysfunctional relationship, one station group alum says, of relations between networks and affiliates. At 8 million subscribers, YouTube TV is now larger than nearly all cable satellite operators. You would think that growth, the idea would be to work together so that everyone can make money. Instead they screw the affiliates over and just hand money to talent or the NFL. Could ABC just shift Kimmel to a different station in the same market? They could try. As mentioned above, there could be a way to enforce agreements in order to change the channel, but doing so is a time-consuming, tricky process. ABC did shuffle its Miami affiliate this year, parting ways with a station owned by billionaire Warren Buffett after failing to reach terms. But doing so in large numbers across the country will run up against the very trend that helped motivate Nexstar and Sinclair to get Kimmel in the first place, consolidation. Both companies have pending deals in front of the FCC, meaning they want to make a show complying with the wishes of agency chairman House Hen Carr, President 47. Those same forces, which have allowed a wave of merger and acquisition deals to create supergroups over the past decade, mean that ABC would be unlikely to find available independent stations, particularly smaller markets. And if an available one was on my TechNut, which has a proposed $6.2 billion merger agreement with Nexstar, it's highly unlikely that TechNut station will pick up Kimmel. It's 2025. Couldn't ABC just put Kimmel on YouTube or ABC.com for free or move behind the paywall on Hulu? Yeah, but Bob Iger, the dumbass that he is, and watch with what I say. When I say the dumbass he is, I mean the dumbass thinking that he is using by trying to blend Hulu or, fold Hulu into Disney Plus. Hulu has 55.5 million subscribers. I suggest Bob Iger stop this bullshit and keep Hulu for what it is. Because this situation, thank God you still have Hulu. And then I mentioned the Hulu app is going away too. And then I mentioned that Hulu Plus TV is folding into FOBO because of that Vin Sports deal that was supposed to be Fox, Warner Bros. Discovery, and ESPN. If you didn't get rid of the ABC app, everybody could have downloaded the app and watched Jimmy Kimmel there too. But Bob Iger's the smart one, though. He's the smart one. He's the smart one. Let's roll on. There's some logic to that kind of move, but it will provoke other affiliates who have stuck by the show. As streaming becomes ubiquitous, major media companies like Disney have taken care to avoid potential linear views by putting content online immediately. They put the monologue up, but I think the whole episode should have been up, so that way, rising tide lifts all boats. Those relationships between affiliates and networks explains why shows don't stream on the same night they air on pay TV, but instead the next day. Remember, Disney has its own pay TV bundle, Hulu plus Live TV, but is prevented from favoring it for strategic purposes. Those limitations were revealed during a carriage fight between Disney and Spectrum parent Charter Communications. Even at the peak of that fight, Disney never told viewers to subscribe to Hulu plus Live TV for fear of getting sued by other operators. When streaming was in its infancy, network parents experimented with permitting live streams of more shows also airing on networks. Today, networks don't want to give consumers even more reason to subscribe to pay TV. Of course, exiting late night altogether, as CBS is doing. Stephen Colbert's Late Show exit next May. Which, like I said, the number one show for 9 seasons, and they won an Emmy, but yet you canceling it. Once again, Paramount's a smart media company that's in $14.9 billion worth of debt. And is trying to go after Warner Bros. Discovery, which has about $40 billion worth of debt, down to $37 billion, which is now going to be on the linear network. So combined, that'll be $54.9 billion worth of debt. Y'all getting rid of Stephen Colbert's Late Show. Holy, the smartness is just so palpable around here, isn't it? Said no one ever. About the networks and the media companies. Is a distinct possibility for ABC Disney. While the show is on, though, why would you want to do without all those markets? Ask one exec, and why would they want to do without the show, given that it will still outrate local news at that hour? Factual. So, of course, from Variety.com, 47 ratings at Jimmy Kimmel ABC as late night show returns up a bunch of true losers. Well, it takes a loser to know a loser. And I would say that Jimmy Kimmel's skin is actually looking good compared to yours. Listen, these are pictures, okay? I mean, honestly, the beard has more salt and pepper than this. This is just salt. And by the way, who else has hair like this? Who else has hair like this? I remember in Cartoon President that 47 put his head in one of those cotton candy machines to get his hair together. Oh my God. By the way, if you have not watched Cartoon President, watch it on Paramount. Paramount Plus is fabulous. Right here. Excuse me. I can't believe ABC Fake News gave Jimmy Kimmel his job back. The White House was told by ABC that his show was canceled. Why would the network tell you that a show was canceled? Okay. Something happened between then and now because his audience is gone. There was a full audience last night, and many people stayed up to watch him, and his talent was never there. Well, if his talent was never there, then why did he come back? Something the Kool-Aid ain't sweet about what this guy is saying. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny, and who puts the network in jeopardy by playing 99% positive Democrat garbage? He is yet another arm of the DNC. To the best of my knowledge, that would be a major illegal campaign contribution. This is coming from the motherfucker that used campaign contributions to pay off a porn star and cheated on his wife. This is the same dude that has been convicted in a federal court and almost had to pay a lot of money, can't serve on a board in New York for 3 years, and the allegations for raping E. Jean Carroll in a dressing room in New York was substantially true, according to a U.S. judge. Okay, child. Okay. You got it, though. I think we're going to test ABC out on this. Let's see how we do. Last time I went after them, they gave me $16 million. This one sounds even more lucrative. A true bunch of losers. Let Jimmy Kimmel rot in his bad ratings. You know, you do realize, right? The more that you talk about him, the more you elevate him. Okay, so there is that from the president. Here is, let's watch this here.
Jimmy Kimmel back on air overnight, thanking his supporters, including those he doesn't typically agree with politically.
It takes courage for them to speak out against this administration, and they did, and they deserve credit for it. And thanks. For telling your followers that our government cannot be allowed to control what we do and do not say on television, and that we have to stand up to it.
Kimmel tearful at times when discussing the reason he was suspended, his comments about Charlie Kirk's murder.
It was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it. I posted a message on Instagram on the day he was killed, sending love to his family and asking for compassion, and I meant it, and I still do. Nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual.
Before Kimmel's return, Disney ABC saying it suspended the show to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. But the company citing days of thoughtful conversations with Jimmy in announcing his return.
A lot of people have been asking me if there are conditions for my return to the air, and there is one. Disney has asked me to read the following statement, and I've agreed to do it. Here we go. To reactivate your Disney Plus and Hulu account.
President Trump blasting the move overnight, posting his audience is gone and his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny?
He had no ratings.
Well, I do tonight.
But Kimmel was not on the air nationwide. Two companies that own ABC stations are still preempting the show. Sinclair saying discussions with ABC are ongoing as we evaluate the show's potential return. And Nexstar wants assurance that all parties are committed to fostering an environment of respectful, constructive dialogue in the markets we serve.
You do realize that goes for you too, Nexstar. You can't ask for assurance from all parties to be committed to fostering an environment of respective, constructive dialogue in the markets you serve if you're not going to be about your fucking damn self. But hey, what do I know though, right? I'm just a black man talking on YouTube. Rolling on.
This map shows just how many TV markets the two companies operate, nearly 25% of ABC stations. FCC Chairman Brendan Carr reacting to a
house hit car.
Post about calls to break up Sinclair, saying Democrats simply can't stand that local TV stations, for the first time in years, stood up to a national programmer and chose to exercise their lawful right to preempt programming. Comedian Joe Rogan also weighing in.
I definitely don't think that the government should be involved ever in dictating what a comedian can or cannot say in a monologue. That's crazy.
So for Joe Rogan to say that, as much as he has been a conspiracy theorist, you gotta know we're far gone.
Kimmel was also in tears when discussing Charlie Kirk's widow and how powerful it was that she forgave the man who shot her husband, saying how touched he was in that moment.
What did Michelle do? Oh, we'll get to that. I was on Michelle Atlien show. Don't worry about it. Here's another clip here.
Walking out to a thunderous standing ovation overnight, Jimmy Kimmel returning to late night TV after a week off the air.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted,
Kimmel's show was suspended amid apparent threats from... Walking out to a thunderous standing ovation overnight, Jimmy Kimmel returning to late night TV after a week off the air.
Thank you. Anyway, as I was saying before I was interrupted,
Kimmel's show was suspended amid apparent threats from the Trump administration following the host's comments last Monday about the ideology of the alleged shooter in Charlie Kirk's murder. Growing emotional, Kimmel now clarifying his remarks.
I do want to make something clear because it's important to me as a human, and that is you understand that it was never my intention to make light of the murder of a young man. I don't think there's anything funny about it, nor was it my intention to blame any specific group for the actions of what it was obviously a deeply disturbed individual. That was really the opposite of the point I was trying to make, but I understand that to some that felt either ill-timed or unclear, or maybe both. And for those who think I did point a finger, I get why you're upset. If the situation was reversed, there's a good chance I'd have felt the same way.
He also praised Kirk's widow during this past weekend's memorial for her husband.
On Sunday, Erica Kirk forgave the man who shot her husband. She forgave him. That is an example we should follow.
But Kimmel was also back telling jokes, taking a jab at President Trump.
You almost have to feel sorry for him. He did his best to cancel me. Instead, he forced millions of people to watch the show. That backfired bigly.
After the taping of the show, President Trump weighing in overnight, blasting ABC's decision to put Kimmel back on the air, saying his talent was never there. Why would they want someone back who does so poorly, who's not funny? In a statement, Disney said Kimmel's show had been suspended to avoid further inflaming a tense situation at an emotional moment for our country. Kimmel shedding light on what happened behind the scenes.
I was not happy when they pulled me off the air on Wednesday. I did not agree with that decision, and I told them that, and we had many conversations. I shared my point of view. They shared theirs. We talked it through, and at the end, even though...
We'll pause it here for a minute. Floriton, I will say this, brother. I know you love me. And I know you care about others that you love, right? At the beginning, middle, end of the day, this comes a part of the territory, right? And I want to point out something here. When Jimmy Kimmel talked about his son Billy and him having a heart condition, right? Because sincerely, that monologue broke me. I don't even have kids. I think sometimes we look at the persona of a person and we forget the totality that that person is a human being. And here's the gag for it. And we're going to still love each other. We're still going to be brothers of theme parks and everything in between. You and I and all of us are going to make mistakes today. We are. Tomorrow, we do not know what is to come. Yesterday, we screwed up. And today, all we have is now. So, I will just say that. And grieving is not a cool subject. It's absolutely not. But I will just say this. If he apologized, would it have been enough? No. It wouldn't have been enough. Would not have been enough. And the fact that he even showed any contrition, right? Okay. The fact that he showed any contrition. The president wanted 5 black men to be unalived for a crime they did not commit. So, I do not want to hear him, the president, anybody supporting the president, this, that, and the third, to complain about what Jimmy Kimmel said when he wanted to unalive 5 black men who did nothing wrong. Okay. Still love you, Floriton. Let's roll on.
Oh, they didn't have to. They really didn't have to. This is a giant company. We have short attention spans, and I am a tiny part of the Disney Corporation. They welcomed me back on the air, and I thank them for that.
The host also thanked those who came out to support him, including his fans, his fellow late-night hosts, and even voices on the right.
Maybe most of all, I want to thank the people who don't support my show and what I believe, but support my right to share those beliefs anyway. people who I never would have imagined. Like Ben Shapiro, Clay Travis, Candace Owens, Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, even my old pal Ted Cruz.
But not everyone was able to watch. Nexstar and Sinclair, media groups that own dozens of local ABC affiliates, are still not broadcasting Jimmy Kimmel Live. Kimmel using his opening monologue to defend free speech.
Look, I never imagined I would be in a situation like this. I barely paid attention in school. But one thing I did learn from Lenny Bruce and George Carlin and Howard Stern is that a government threat.
There is room for everybody, right? But I will say this, though, Fulton, right? I will say this. And I think this is where I get a little pissed off at people, because there are people that, you know, say, oh, well, Tyler Perry and his bad wigs and this, that, and the third. If Tyler Perry gave those people who say they can't stand him $250,000, they would take the deal. If you had a viral video and you had an offer from Jimmy Kimmel to go on the show, you're not going to sit here and tell me that you would not at least not think about the offer. Now, come on now. I love you, bro, but let's not be asinine to just have a point of view. And I still love you with the love of God in the name of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Let's just keep it a buck.
To silence a comedian the president doesn't like is anti-American. That's anti-American.
And Kimmel said this situation is much bigger than him. He said his show is not important. What is important is that we get to live in a country that allows us to have a show like this.
That is the
Robin?
point. All right. Our thanks to you, Trevor, so much.
Here is this here.
There is a buzz here at Jimmy Kimmel Live. I'm at the backstage door and security is tight. Jimmy arrived right around 11:50, avoiding the media and paparazzi. His sidekick Guillermo arrived about 90 minutes earlier. This is the first time we will hear from Jimmy tonight since he was suspended. And in my opinion, this is the biggest night of his career.
And now, Jimmy Kimmel.
Minutes before we started taping, we got word that our friend Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air.
Our long national late nightmare is over.
This morning, Jimmy revealed tonight's comeback guest list. Glenn Powell, who stars in a new Disney sports comedy, and singer Sarah McLachlan, who showed solidarity with Kimmel, canceling her performance Sunday night before a Disney Plus documentary about Lilith Fair.
We have collectively decided not to perform, but instead to stand in solidarity in support of free speech.
E.T. has learned that Kimmel's team struck a deal with his Disney execs Monday morning, settling on tonight as his return date and also what he'll say on air. Those discussions, we're told, kicked off last Thursday at his attorney's LA office.
It was very amicable and cordial between Jimmy Kimmel and the parties at Disney. I think the biggest point of contention was they wanted him to apologize, and I think Jimmy was vehemently against doing that.
What do you expect from his monologue tonight?
I think he's going to address it head on. Some of those discussions that happened behind the scenes with Disney, they wanted him to take down the temperature. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel would have agreed to come back on the air muzzled in any type of way.
Of course, we've seen Jimmy handle difficult situations before on live TV.
La La Land.
Like the infamous 2017 Oscars mix-up.
Oh, this was
Moonlight.
a huge moment.
Best Picture.
Guys, this is very unfortunate what happened. Let's remember, it's just an award show.
And this heartfelt...
Let me tell you something. As a host, I remember watching this live, and for Jimmy Kimmel to say it's just an award show goes to show you his soul, because from the outside looking in, he's right. It is just an award show, but to these people in Hollywood, this award could change everything. But to find the foundation of solitude of, hey, we got bigger issues here, well done to him.
And this heartfelt moment after his newborn son had open heart surgery.
That's his son, Billy. So, like Fulton said about stop using children for a humor point, that's his son, Billy, that he went to town for. And his wife went to town for as well. And talked about how everybody should be able to have access to health care and for kids to be alive. So, I think that's way more than WDW Pro has ever done. and the other side and the president, his administration, his supporters have ever done. So let's know our role, stay in our place, and drive our speed limits.
It's a terrifying thing. My wife, she has no idea what's going on.
You touch so many people. Is that something you always remember?
Yeah, how could you forget something like that? People were so nice, and people still are so nice. Everybody, they come up to me, they ask me how Billy is, and people say they're praying. It means a lot.
This morning, Disney announced another price hike for its streaming services. And although tonight's return might feel like a win for Kimmel, it's not a total victory. Two of ABC's biggest affiliate groups won't be broadcasting Kimmel's show until further notice. Sinclair and Nexstar own about 70 ABC affiliates across the country. What does it mean that the show won't air in those local markets?
For context for your viewers, that's about 25% of the market in the United States. They're not going to air Jimmy Kimmel. Now, is that something that sticks, forever? Maybe, maybe not.
There were protests outside the Disney studios last week, and a lot of people said they were going to drop their streaming accounts.
I just canceled my Disney Plus and Hulu subscriptions.
Do you think that the uproar had any part in Kimmel's return?
You have to assume it did.
Wait a minute. I know you lied.
Wait
a minute. Look at this. Look. That is Bob Iger's phone number. Are you sick? They put Bob Iger's phone number on the side and his email address. Oh my God. Roll it on.
You have to assume it did. When you look at anything that hurts the bottom line.
Disney put Kimmel back on because you, the American people, were upset, okay?
There are two more videos, and then we will get on to more of our destinations, y'all. This is not just about Jimmy Kimmel, but I wanted to contribute a significant amount of time to this, because if we don't care about our voices being heard, we will not have a voice to be heard. So,
on our top story, Jimmy Kimmel has just wrapped up his first show in nearly a week. The audience coming out. Robert Kovacic is outside the El Capitan Theater. Robert, with some of the audience members there, what are they saying?
Well, first of all, Colleen, we were backstage in the alley behind the El Capitan because that's normally where the audience comes out, but they threw us a curveball, so we all ran, and now we're outside of the El Capitan. And yes, fans have come out, media from around the world really want to talk to these fans. Let's talk to Kathy really quickly from Burbank. Okay, give us the review. What did Jimmy have to say?
First, I'll say, no matter what, definitely watch it for yourself. You see his own words, hear his own words for yourselves. Like, people play operator all they want, but I feel like there was a lot of thought put into his words. Thousands of great ideas, and he apologized for what he needed to, how he could see how some things can play out, but he also reiterated how he really did feel about the whole situation, and he also showed he is a human being. He had amazing feelings about the idea of everyone being there, connecting today, and about also how Charlie Cook's wife was just, she showed actual grace and kindness over the weekend, and he wants everyone else to feel that way.
I'm going to ask you, Kathy, I see that you're emotional. A lot of audience members coming out emotional tonight. Colleen, we heard Jimmy Kimmel was very emotional inside of there as well. He shed a few tears. I'm hearing that it was unifying, and I'm hearing it's what he needed to do. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what you heard tonight and how it affected you and impacted you?
I could see that he didn't buckle. He didn't bend any weird knees or anything, which I think is also incredibly important right now. He made sure that what he said was very clear. He explained just enough of how he was feeling. He didn't whine or any of that stuff like some other people want to do. He was actually very, very on topic, and he made sure he wanted to message everyone just coming together and understanding where we stand right now as a country.
And let me ask you something, just in your own sort of perspective. Was there enough of an apology that could bring back the station groups that have said, we're not coming back to the table unless we hear that from Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, it depends if the station groups want to stand up and actually do what's right.
Damn.
Colleen, we have
that was a white woman, by the way, to the right. And by the way, shout out to this black woman here looking flying scrumdiddlyumptious and a joy person. if Joy was personified as a person, she's fine. Okay, moving on.
People, we've got the LAPD now standing outside to sort of deal with the crowds and deal with the intensity here, because this really is a moment in history as Jimmy Kimmel has returned. If we have time, we can play that sound, but you're going to hear from other audience members when we see you tonight at 11. I'm sorry, go ahead, Tessie. Oh, great. Okay, our producer is telling us that we do have time for sound. Let's hear from what some of the other people said. We just talked to them seconds ago.
Oh my God, that white girl just.
It was a great show. He's amazing. He was gracious. He was standing up for freedom of speech. Funny. It was wonderful. It was a great show. Great experience.
How do you think it will play across the country?
I think it will do very well. I think he did an excellent job. Very proud of him.
Someone described it as unifying.
To me, it felt very unifying. The audience was behind him. He was just very, again, gracious and just really a champion for freedom of speech.
Was there an apology?
There was, of sorts, yes, in Jimmy Kimmel fashion. Yeah, I just think he did a great job.
Now, Jimmy can
Everyone's
get very
gonna like
emotional. Were there tears shed?
Yes, there were.
And again, Colleen, these are audience members. These are people that were.
There you go there. And then finally, check this out from Lou now, and then we'll get to the rest of it.
You know that I actually work for Jimmy Kimmel. I work for myself, but I work for him too. Here in Las Vegas at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club, where he has allowed me to be, and I'm going to eat and talk. So if you don't like smacking or you don't like that, click out.
My friend.
But do not tell me what not to do on here, because I'll click off and want nobody to see nothing. So Jimmy has allowed, oh, great, Monday. Okay, great. What Jimmy has allowed me to do is be at his club here in Vegas since the doors opened 5 years ago. Jimmy has given me the opportunity to be I am the only Black female with an ongoing comedy residency in Las Vegas. Jimmy has never censored me, edited me, controlled me, or ever told me what to do. And he's never given me any problem with anything that I've had to say. Jimmy does not censor me.
So I wanted to bring up Lunel because Lunel is a very, very old school comic. And I think that this is the way you do a show on YouTube. You don't just put out a narrative because you want to have a platform. You put out the facts because you are responsible for what you broadcast. Now, I bet you Tim Cass, the Benjamin guy, whatever the fuck his name is, and WDW Pro on the other side will not broadcast the good side of Kimmel. They'll broadcast the bad side so they can have content. And it's interesting that they say that about this side, but okay then. Okay. Hey, I know I'm not anti anyone. I know they get paid a big bucks to say whoop stuff. They could do without the paycheck. Could they do without the paycheck? That's a good question. And real success is when the fan base still wants you for you, not because of the platform you have. All right, y'all, let's roll on. We do have more right here, rollingout.com, celebrating 25 years rather, on to the next 25. Social Security income payment dates 2025 to 2026. Complete schedule includes payment dates through March 2026 plus guidance for missed payments. So here is the payment calendar here. I know that there are people who are elderly and other people who are on SSI and benefits and this, that, and the third. So payment 1 arrives on Friday, August 29th, covers September benefits. This early distribution allows recipients to receive their September funds before the month begins, providing better financial planning opportunities. Payment 2 follows on Wednesday, October 1st, for their October benefits. The midweek time insurance recipients start the month with their expected insurance. Payment 3 comes on Friday, October 31st, 2025, delivering November 5th if it's just for Halloween arrives. This Halloween distribution provides funds right before the holiday season begins. Payment 4 lands on December 1st, 2025 for December benefits. And then payment 5 occurs Wednesday, December 31st, 2025. Payment 6 January 30th, 2026. Payment 7th, February 27th, 2026. Payment date 8, Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. When payments don't arrive on schedule, y'all should resist panic. And Social Security Administration recommends weighing 3 additional mailing days before contacting the agency directly. This patience proves wise since approximately 99% of all beneficiaries receive their payments electronically, making delays extremely rare. So the paper checks will be deleted. Okay, so just wanted to say that. And on top of that, speaking of government and this, that, and the third, from the Independent UK, the US edition, even author of study used by 47 to warn about Tylenol said pregnant women should still consider the medication. Even author of study used by 47 to warn about Tylenol said pregnant women should still consider the medication. Even author of study used by 47 to warn about Tylenol said pregnant women should still consider the medication. The 47 administration cited a paper last month evaluating the existing research on the correlation between autism and Tylenol use in pregnant women. Ann Bauer, epidemiologist and co-author of the paper, told Politico that the research shows pregnant women can still use the common painkiller despite the president's claims. What we recommend is judicious use of the lowest effective dose for the shortest duration of time under medical guidance supervision tailored to the individual. But everybody voted for a smart motherfucker on November 4th, said no one ever. All right, moving on. Don't worry, we're going to get to all of these here, all these stories here. Don't you worry. Right here, check this out here. The world's largest black doll show returns to Detroit for another celebration of fashion, culture, and art from blacknews.com. Sandyland LLC, known for its mission to empower, entertain, and inspire with brand products, books, arts, and cultural events, is proud to announce the 2025 Black Art and Doll Show, Detroit Doll Show, empowering celebration of history, culture, and diversity throughout the promotion of Black dolls and art. The highly anticipated event, recognized as the world's largest Black doll show, will be held on Saturday, November 15th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ford Wellness Center, quadruple 5555 Connor, Detroit, Michigan 48213. The 2025 Black Art and Doll Show, Detroit Doll Show, promises a day filled with engaging activities, opportunities for the vibrant dolls with handmade items and artistic creations from talented vendors. So congratulations to that there. The Detroit Doll Show has been featured in the Michigan Citizen, Live in the Noon on Fox 2, CBS News, the Detroit News and Free Press, Black Magazine, Metro Parent, American Black Journal, PBS, which should still be here, by the way, Black Enterprise, BlackAmericaWeb.com. Detroit is different in the doll world, Black Doll Collector, and Dolls Magazine. So yes, indeed. And general admission is $7 per person. So here is Sandyland here, LLC, and the Detroit Doll Show is right here. So just wanted to just showcase this here. And there are vendors who travel from New York, Baltimore, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Minnesota, Boston, Texas, Georgia, Chicago, Tennessee, and even Canada. So there'll be a doll lookalike contest, live music, DJ, doll box photo prop, most adorable reborn contest, doll making, selfie stations, legacy award presentation, African head wrap workshop, panel discussions, and African drumming and dance. So there you go there with that. All right, y'all, more. And of course, I will drop the link to that in the live chatterization as well. Yes, indeed, there. Don't you worry. We are going to get through each and every story here. Yes, indeed. All right, y'all. Verizon starts work on its 6G wireless network. No joke. This is from CordCuttersNews.com. Verizon has launched the 6G Innovation Forum, a collective initiative bringing together industry giants to pioneer the next generation of connectivity. This forward-thinking effort unites leading network vendors Ericsson, Samsung Electronics, and Nokia with device and chip innovators Meta, Facebook, and Qualcomm Technologies Incorporated. The forum's mission is to define the 6G era by identifying groundbreaking use cases, developing advanced devices, and creating cutting-edge network technologies. By fostering an open, diverse, and resilient 6G ecosystem, Verizon aims to drive global alignment and establish foundational technologies that will transform how people live, work, and interact. The forum is focused on accelerating the development of 6G by exploring new spectrum bands and WIPs, which promises to unlock unprecedented speeds and capacities. These advancements will enable a wide range of applications, from revolutionary wearables to immersive AI-driven experiences and entirely new cases that have yet to be imagined. And also, too, building on its legacy as the first company to deploy 5G globally, they are now laying the groundwork for 6G. So, very interesting. Like I said, hopefully the bill isn't too crazy, but there it is there. Now, truly, Braylon Lee was on Michelle Atlien last night. Okay, yes, indeed, I was. So let me show you guys that here. And by the way, I love the chat. There was one person that said, we've heard reasonably shady, Mr. We've never heard of you. And it's like, oh my Lord, 3,252 subscribers. Shout out to y'all at Michelle Atlien's place last night. And in terms of total views, as of right now, just wanna. Oh, and by the way, the dumb fuck, Benny Johnson, he is not gonna really. He's gonna be upset and then go and live his white privilege life. Hopefully, your free speech doesn't get canceled, sir. But that's neither here nor there. But with that being said, let me show you the total views here, right here. Here are the total views. 822,516 total views there. So here is Michelle Atlien and me last night. Here we go.
At Sally's and CVS, y'all go support your girl, okay?
I said live about the confessions, and it was that short video everybody got pissed off about.
Well, you broadcast live from where?
So I have a YouTube channel myself, and so this is reminding me of the Kenya Moore Confessions video that was supposed to be like a long video, but it was like a short video. It's just seeming like whether she was on the show or off the show, she got dragged. Because what this is sounding like is like Reasonably Shady, that podcast that nobody listens to, when Robin tried to come for K. Michelle. And K. Michelle checked Robin. It's kind of looking like she's getting checked by the people. Just keeping it a buck. That's just kind of my take on it.
The truth don't need no help. The truth is what
let me refresh it so y'all can see it there.
Bro. And that's pretty much what their response to me is like.
I should laugh about the confession, because what this is sounding like is like Reasonably Shady, that podcast that nobody listens to, when Robin tried to come for K. Michelle. And K. Michelle checked Robin. It's kind of looking like she's getting checked by the people. Just keeping it a buck. That's just kind of my take on it.
The truth don't need no help. The truth is what it is. So every day the truth keep falling out the sky. Like, I didn't have to go by there, and people keep blaming me. It's like anybody who walks by there, anybody who drives by there, it's beneath some apartment complexes. Like, people talk about it all over the internet, Lipstick Alley, Reddit, YouTube, Instagram, and it's like, how do I get blamed for this?
Yeah, I think what it is that when the momentum's not going your way, you'll create a perspective so that way your mind can be comfortable with it. It's just, I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I live in an apartment complex. Let my rent go lapse 1 month. It's over for me. I'm sorry. I got responsibilities. You know what I mean? So I I just don't think that's right. That she doesn't have to pay, but yet the rest of us got responsibilities to do.
And that's pretty much what their response said, that she feels like she's above OCGA, whatever that law was. And the law is clear, and they're asking the judge, because the law is clear, this shouldn't be an argument. Either she needs to pay the money that she owed previously before filing the dispossessory, and she needs to pay the money that she owes since then into the registry, or get the hell out.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So hard about that?
By the way, not 223 was trying to tell you there was something on the back of the card. I was typing it in the chat, but I got timed out, so I was just trying to be helpful. But there's something on the back of the card.
Why waste another summer not loving your body?
With Base 44, we turn that question
man.
From Lisa R, aka not 223. Okay, so you a girl. I don't know if not 223 was a he, she, or they. I didn't want to make any assumptions.
No, it's been a long minute since I've been up here. I think the last time I was up here, you were talking about Jada's book, and I said that Will Smith will have chapters and Jada will be in chapters. But no, I'm also a content creator myself. I actually, like I said, I did the Kenya Moore Confessions live. I think that big one had like 8,900 views. I was saying, wait, Michelle Atlien should be going live with this, but everybody just came to me. But I'll say this to you because I'm a big fan of you. My platform has 3,248 subscribers and 820,943 total views. So I've been pressing, but you definitely inspire me, and just want to come through and just support. So
can you hear me? I said everybody starts at 0, so just keep grinding.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
It don't matter. It don't even matter how many subs you got. Just keep, putting
It's
your
the
content
views.
out there, and people can watch. They don't even have to subscribe. It's all about the views anyway. So
yeah. So I just wanted to just showcase that. Shout out to Michelle Atlien in there. See, this is why I can stand on my own and contribute and still have my soul, unlike some other people. Like I said, owns #1 show that's supposed to be on every Saturday. But to all the content creators that just cover that show because you ain't got no other content, you got this.
Love and Marriage Huntsville will return with more new episodes. The drama is just getting started. Love and Marriage Huntsville returns with new episodes November 15th, only on OWN. Love and Marriage.
Anonymous, see, what do you have to say about all this, child? What do you guys say?
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
There it is. Let's roll on, everybody. We do have more here. Of course, some breaking news that happened before getting on the air. 1 dead after a powering at Dallas Ice facility. Power is also dead. Very sad there. Billionaire MacKenzie Scott gives UNICEF $70 million for historical Black colleges and universities. This gift follows Scott's $10 million contribution in 2020. Billionaire MacKenzie Scott, who's the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos, awarded the United Negro College Fund for transformational $70 million gift towards strengthening historical Black colleges and universities. The organization announced this gift follows Scott's $10 million contribution in 2020, which helped bolster the United Negro College Fund Emergency Reserve Fund, according to the release from the organization. Overjoyed, UNICEF President and CEO Michael L. Lomax said he nearly lost it when he received the news of the donation, which was 7 times the amount of Scott's 2020 gift. She is St. Mackenzie Scott. Lomax told ABC News as she is rewriting the book of philanthropy, not just in this country, but in the world. The Associated Press was the first to report the news of Scott's recent gift. Thus far, the billionaire philanthropist and author has given $80 million in blind, unrestricted financial support to the nation's largest private to the nation's largest private scholarship fund for Black higher education institutions. Sending his heartfelt thanks to Scott, Lomax added Scott is choosing institutions like HBCUs, which has been starved by major philanthropists and also racist bigots and waste of life presidents and administrations and supports that should have been swallowed by their fucking mothers. With few exceptions in the past, and she's setting a new standard. Over the years, Scott, who was previously married to Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, has an estimated net worth of over $30 billion and has pledged to donate most of her wealth to nonprofit organizations like UNICEF. The contribution this week was one of her first to be disclosed in 2025 and boosts the $1 billion UNICEF capital campaign philanthropic effort launched in 2021 to provide HBCUs with critical sources. The organization said the $70 million gift will be invested into the UNICEF members' pooled endowment fund initiative formed to strengthen the long-term financial health of all 37 private UNICEF member HBCUs, a critical component of the broader $1 billion campaign. The pooled endowment fund's goal is to raise $370 million, which is about a $10 million stake in each school's endowment for the pooled endowment. UNICEF also said Scott's gift brings them significantly closer to that goal, as each private member HBCU receive a $5 million stake from this initiative. Lomax says Scott has raised the bar. Now he's sending a call to action to philanthropic organizations. I think it's a challenge to them to do more and give more. Lomax told ABC News, when we HBCUs often say do more with less, now it's the time for us to do more with more. He said the announcement comes during HBCU Week 2025, which is honoring the legacy of HBCU. Shout out to every HBCU out there. And UAPB whooped Alcorn State's ass in that classic. From PNG, none but love to Alcorn State as well. We're all black people. Well, now skin folk. Let me stop, because Stephen A. Smith is the black male personification of thirsty toxicity. We don't claim thirsty toxicity or Stephen A. Smith. Moving on. The schools have been pillars of excellence since 1837, according to Secretary of Education Linda McMahon, who confused AI for A1 steak sauce. HBCUs received recently over $400 million from the Department of Education through funding that was redirected to them for their commitment to educational outcomes, according to the department. Long underfunded by the federal government, the move increased HBCU federal funding for fiscal year 2025 to $1.3 billion. Let me see. Yep, we're almost done then. UNICEF applauded the federal government's pledge to continue funding the more than 100 HBCUs across the country, including the 37 private HBCUs it serves. Rodriguez versus Murray. Rodriguez v. Murray. Sorry, I thought that was a court case there. Rodriguez v. Murray, UNICEF Senior Vice President for Public Policy and Government Affairs, called the additional funding nothing short of a godsend for HBCUs. UNICEF President CEO Michael L. Lomax released the 2023 affirmative action ruling, which banned racist conscience admissions practices, placed a new spotlight on the value of HBCUs. But he remains guardedly optimistic about financial contributions as of late. I thought that, maybe the support will go down, when in fact what is happening is that the support is going up. Hate goes down, but love goes up. Hate goes down, but love comes up. Hate comes down, but love comes up. Hey, Chocolate Capricorn, good to see you. I hope all is well with you. By the way, Chocolate Capricorn was at Michelle A.T. Elliott's place last night. All right, y'all. This story is going to make you smile, and we need a story after everything that we've covered here this morning and now this afternoon, 42 minutes after 8 o'clock. Mattel launches Brave Barbie and first ever Brave Ken doll supporting children experiencing illness-related hair loss. September 17, 2025, Mattel, a leading global toy and family entertainment company and owner of one of the most iconic brand portfolios in the world, today unveiled its newest Brave Barbie dolls and the first ever Brave Ken doll. Timed to Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Since its introduction in 2023, Brave Barbie has stood as the only toy in the world created and distributed exclusively through nonprofit partners, with over $120,000 placed in the hands of children to date. In partnership with more than a dozen nonprofit research and care partners, $10,000 will be distributed to children fighting cancer or autoimmune diseases nationwide. Not just nationwide, worldwide, offering comfort and a reminder that they are brave, strong, and beautiful. This year, the program enters a powerful new chapter with its first ever global expansion made possible through partnerships with Ronald McDonald House Charities, RMHC, Starlight Children's Foundation, Cure Search for Children's Cancer, and other international organizations such as Koala Kids, Save the Children, Fund Ashon Talon, and Incondret, dedicated to supporting children and families in need. The new Brave Barbie dolls are available in 2 skin tones in fashion-forward outfits and come in 5 versatile accessories: headphones, a hat, headband, a rooted wig, and a customizable sticker pack. To ensure even more children for the Brave Ken doll also features a rooted wig, expand the possibilities for self-expression and play, because as you know, when you go through cancer, you do lose your hair. So for more than a decade, Brave Barbie doll has offered children comfort in seeing themselves reflected and reassurance that they are not alone in this journey, said Nancy Mordilla, Vice President of Global Corporate Events of Philanthropy, Mattel. With a meaningful new look and expansion to a Brave Ken doll, these dolls continue to embody courage and compassion. Placing these dolls in the hands of families and seeing the light that they bring during life's hardest moments is profoundly humbling and a privilege we hold close to our hearts. Brave Barbie doll has touched the lives of thousands of children, as what began as a heartfelt initiative has grown into a semblance of resemblance, embodying Mattel's belief in the healing power of play. Families and healthcare providers continue to share how these dolls bring emotional strength, comfort, and a sense of normalcy during life's most challenging moments. Being a part of the Brave Ken development was deeply personal as a childhood cancer survivor, said Chase Carr, Director of Community Engagement at Cure Search. Congratulations to you, Chase Park, for being a childhood cancer survivor. We're glad that you're still here with us. It was important to me that the Brave Ken carry the same message that Brave Barbie has given kids for years, that they are seen, valued, and strong, even their toughest bouts. These dolls are far their symbols of courage and companions in the fight. The Brave New Barbie dolls will roll out this fall as the Mattel Children's Foundation continues its work with the Children's Hospital Association, Blood Cancer United, formerly known as the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the American Society of California, the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, and several California-based institutions, including Brady's Children's Hospital, Pediatric Cancer Research Foundation, Children's Hospital Los Angeles, UCLA Mattel Children's Hospital, and City of Hope Children's Cancer Center. And here's what they look like here. Absolutely amazing. Shout out to the Jasmine brand too. Y'all, that's our show. That's our show. That is our show. That is our show. And what if anything that I said ain't true? Don't respond to me. But if you do respond to me, it must be true to some damn degree. Now, of course, as you know, we ended with a positive story all the time around here. Congratulations to DJ Envy's daughter, Madison Casey, gets engaged to boyfriend Andrew Watts during a romantic proposal in Greece. Madison Casey, and shout out to the Jasmine brand for this, Madison Casey, the eldest daughter, DJ Envy and Gia Casey, is officially engaged. The announcement was shared on Instagram, where Madison revealed that her longtime boyfriend, Andrew Watts, proposed to her during a romantic getaway in Mykonos, Greece. DJ Envy and Gia also expressed their joy, writing in a joint post. Our baby is engaged. Madison is one of 6 children the couple share, including Payne, Logan, London, Jackson, and Brooklyn. Congratulations, Madison. Drop some advice for the newlyweds to be. So congratulations to Madison Casey and also Andrew Watts. Blessings upon you both. Yo, that's our show. I'm gonna turn off my, well, actually, before I turn off my camera, I spent over an hour on Jimmy Kimmel, and I will gladly do it again, because sometimes we need to know that if we don't stand up for something, we will not have something that's important. When it comes to Social Security, you knowing that schedule of when benefits are rolling out is important, because we all have family all over this country that resources are being cut because of somebody's skin color or how they think and how they live. And conservatives and Democrats have both used resources to get to where they are, and nobody can say bullshit about what I just said there. With the Black Dolls there and that Black Doll show, which, by the way, you can check out right there. That is the link. That Black Doll show, by the way, will be happening Saturday, November 15th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Ford Wellness Center, 5555 Connor, Detroit, Michigan, 48213. The fact that there is a doll show for our culture is such a beautiful thing, and we need to celebrate more of the good so we can embrace the good. Verizon and 6G. 6G? This is a 5G, 4G phone, like 6G. Child, those phones are going to be ridiculously expensive. Michelle, Atlien Brown, shout out to you. Chocolate Capricorn, thank you for coming here. And thank you for allowing me to give my my take there, and thank you for your encouragement. I will keep on going, good sister. MacKenzie Scott, $70 million to UNICEF. Shout out to you for utilizing privilege to say, listen, it's not about classism. It's not about being divisive. It is about utilizing the power of unity and investing in people who want that as well. Shout out to you. And BARBIE, Barbie and Mattel, for you doing what you did here with the Brave Barbie doll and the Brave Ken doll. Well done to you. And also, too, let me give a shout out to Hasbro because they did a Easy Bake Oven in the colors of blue and black because they're the young man's sister advocated for her brother to be a chef. So when toy companies have more soul than a president his administration supports, we really should be worried. And finally, like I said, with the engagement that happened with Madison Casey and also to Andrew Watts, congratulations to you all. The biggest thing, communicate, remember why you're together, and also give a care. Because when you don't give a care, you have no space to care. Y'all, that's the show. One love, much love, all love. I feel the love and send it right back to you. I'll see you tonight for an all-new show at 6 p.m. What will the day bring, child? It's only Wednesday, but we will find out together. One love, much love, all love. I feel the love and send it. Hang on. I feel the love and send it right back to you. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Have a good day.
I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner. I thought I should tell you they've been talking about you. Yeah, they've been talking about you. They've been talking about the fact that they've done everything they could to stop you and everything they could to block you, but you still win. They've been talking about the fact that they have undermined your success and they have tried to sabotage your seasons, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that even though they don't like each other, they get together to try to kill you, but you keep winning. They've been talking about the fact that you were voted least likely to succeed, but like cream, you keep rising to the top. They've been talking about how they tried to burn your world down, but like the phoenix, you rose from the ashes. They've been talking about you. And you know what they say? Oh, she's just lucky. He's just lucky. But no, you ain't lucky. You're anointed. You got something on you. You got favor on you. You got power on you. You were born to win. Now they can call it luck, but it's grace. They can call it luck, but it's favor. But whatever they call it, it doesn't matter, because you know what God calls you? Do you know what God calls you? A winner.
Good morning, TikTok. Can I have your attention, please? Girl, are you ticking? Are you talking? Because knowledge is knocking. Then I want to talk to you real quick about ignoring a bitch. Oh, there's power in turning the other cheek. Now, I'm going to tell you something. One thing about people that like to throw shade, you don't fight shade with shade. The only thing that overrides and destroys the shade is the sunlight. See, your light got to be so bright that you keep that bitch where they belong, in the shadows, the dark. The bitch is invisible, and we don't see you, girl. See, you don't go back and forth with a person that's hating on you, because when you do that, you become just like them, a weak bitch. So the next time they mention your name in a status, or your name come up in a conversation, don't respond because you're too high to look that low. We can't go back and forth with people that we can't reach and that's not on our level. We not sitting at the same table eating the same meals.
Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content. Because here's the thing, a good streamer can find other content.
Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time. Child Relevant over there doing his thing, minding his GD business, staying out of trouble, trying to get the folks some positive stuff to talk about. Besides lying all the damn time.